This is the Contemporary Christian Music Classroom. That was John Rubin with Focus. I don't think that a lot of my listeners are too familiar with John Rubin. He was kind of like, not everyone heard about John Rubin. I was listening to him before he was cool, and he's still kind of like not all that like
hipster alert.
Okay, Dakota, you do a lot of worship. You know a lot of Christian music.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Did you know John Rubin?
I actually did, from was it late 90s or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Rubin, what is he dippity doing?
Okay, so you're on my page. You're on
Yeah.
my page. but it's like one of those obscure references. Like,
yeah, most people goes way over their head. They're like, who?
Yeah, if I were to say, do not tell me what I can and cannot do when I rock you get that.
Oh yeah,
but
kids singing.
Yeah, but yeah, the thing about John Rubin is that he's one of those Christian rappers who is more so. He's like very. His sound is a lot different, but he's always focused on just, here is my message. I'm saying it to you more or less directly in a lot of words. Listen to it and you'll get it. And that last song was called Focus. And you hear it, he was talking about how sometimes there's so much that distracts you from what you're trying to do in life. And, oh yeah, here's some anxiety to distract you. Here's some depression to distract you. There's so much that comes at you to distract you. When if you focus on the right things, you can get to where you need to go.
Not even just anxiety and depression that can distract you. Stuff that you're doing down the line can distract you.
Oh, yeah.
Like, even with myself, I just graduated Stockton. Now I'm looking for different jobs in the field. And a lot of things distracting me now is I don't have the correct gear I need to do, production work. But I am working on that. I've found a couple things online I do need. Now I'm just trying to convince myself to sit down and pay the money for it.
Oh, yeah.
And I find that quite distracting when I'm trying to do 8 other things at one time.
Do you know how many times that people have asked for CCM101 or WEHA business cards, and it seems like every time they ask, it's right when I've ran out, but then it's like I could have ordered them 3 weeks ago and had them for this event. And I feel like the same thing with the ordering for the equipment. Sometimes there are these things that we know that we can do, and we know what we need to do them,
or things we need, and we just can't put enough time together to fill out the thing online and put in the number that you need.
I'm the worst at this.
I was watching an ASAP Science video, and they were just talking about the nature of procrastination. And basically what it comes down to is don't rely on your willpower. Don't rely too much on your scheduling. Just do it. And it seems like it's like a Nike cliche, a Shia LaBeouf meme, but honestly,
Do it.
Just
You can do it.
Just do it. Like you might feel like you're distracted. You might feel like you can't do the things that God has meant for you to do.
That reminds me of a line from a movie. Do it. Starsky says do it. Just do it.
Just do it. Doesn't matter what's going on. Just if God has it in your life for something to get done, just
get it done.
Just do it. Listen. Sometimes you got to get your feet wet before the seas part. If you know what I'm saying. You guys feeling what I'm laying down?
Yeah,
I'm seeing it.
I'm feeling it.
I'm seeing it. I'm feeling it. Just get your feet wet before you separate the water. Nice reference there.
I was gonna say, I feel like that's really good advice for certain things. Sometimes people are struggling with something and they're like, "Oh, I got all this going on." I think there's a Tadashi song called "Make War."
Oh yeah.
I hear so many Christians murmuring about everything, all their failures and their shortcomings, and he's like, "Make war, fight against it." It's just do it or just stop. I feel like it's simple, but it's such good advice.
Heavenly Joy does a song called War. I got joy in my soul. God is in control. I'm singing all is well, but I'm watching what I pray, because this means war.
Yeah, because the thing is, our war is not against flesh and blood. Our war is
against ADD.
No, guys. It was going to scriptural.
Scripture.
See, here's the secret. So, you guys probably have noticed this by now. I actually do have a lisp. I just have it under control 90% of the time. But anyway,
except when he talks too fast, he trips over his words.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that our war is not against flesh and blood. It's against principalities of darkness. There's a whole another thing with spiritual warfare, too. That when we're trying to do the things that God has us to do, it's not just life coming against us. We often forget that our warfare is not just with life, but we got to stay prayed up. We got to stay in our word and prepare for that battle.
So we got to put on the full armor of God daily.
It's something that our production manager, Super Steph, has always said a lot of modern day saints. I've spent a lot of time trying to analyze what that means. Every time he says it, it just blows my mind. The modern day saints, they do this. Modern day saints, they do that. They go to church, and they walk in the shadow of grace and the light of God every day. sometimes I think to myself, we all have to be a modern day saint. If you think about that, just what the saints went through in the biblical days of martyrism for their love of God and the love that they knew would surpass all understanding, we are those saints reincarnated in some fashions.
You know, I think since Steph is still around in the building, if you wanted to just talk about what he means when he says modern day saints,
and let me know if I'm even in the ballpark what you mean by that.
Modern day saints. Wow. I'm trying to remember in what context was I talking when I said that.
You say it all the time.
It's like your go-to description of when you're talking about the church people.
Okay. I'm chewing gum too. That's a radio no. So was it in a positive light or a negative light?
Yeah, you usually use it both.
It's like an even split. Sometimes it's positive, sometimes it's negative.
Like, for instance, you might say that modern day saints have forgotten how to do so and so, or you might say that a lot of modern day saints are excelling at this.
Okay. So a lot of times modern day saints they kind of mix their opinions in with the Word of God and kind of come up with their own philosophies on life, and the thing is they sometimes take their opinions and kind of convince themselves that it's gospel. That's dangerous, and so that's one side of it. I'm trying to think another side of it.
Well, now that you said the downside of it, let's focus on the positive of it, shall we?
Positive side of it is, when I was younger, I went on tour with a singing group, and I went all across the country and went to all different types of churches, right? And I saw how different everybody was as far as how they expressed their gratitude to God, the way they praised God, the way the services were, just the cultural differences. And so the one thing that I really admired about modern saints is that they're not caught up so much in tradition to the point where they consider it to be gospel. I think with both sides is like you take things that aren't gospel and kind of make them gospel, and then you miss God when you do that. So with I think I was talking about the modern day saints who don't do that. I love that, and I feel like I consider myself to be one of those people who kind of just try to live in God's imagination, and not be caught up in. There's nothing wrong with traditions, but as long as you don't give it that weight of being so. It's gospel. It's everything is
when you allow it to become a distraction.
Yes, exactly. It could become a distraction from. You can miss God completely with your opinions and with traditions. So.
Yeah, I think one of the amazing things though is that when you focus on the gospel, when you look into the Word, it's so undeniable. It's so true. It's so simple a child can understand it. No matter what you're facing in life, you can take the time to really just understand who you are in God and who you are as His creature, as His creation. Mm-hmm. That no matter what you failed at, no matter what you succeed at, you're still a human. You're still someone who's always having that struggle of right or wrong, but at the same time, you're a tool to be used for the building of the kingdom. Mm-hmm. I think one of the amazing things about God's love is that it never stops. No matter what you've done in life, no matter where you've been, His love never stops.
It never stops. That's something we preach all the time at sermons here at the station. It never stops. But in that love and in that light, we can build His kingdom here on earth. And He gave us that right. He gave us that ability to build up His body, which is the church, and build His kingdom on earth. And if we live in that kingdom, we will be granted eternal salvation in His kingdom upstairs when we get there.
You're right on the money, guys. I couldn't have said it better myself. We need to start building that kingdom here. We need to start knowing that when the church doesn't start when we die. The church is what we have here to get us to the next level.
The church starts the minute you're born, and it's with you forever. If you choose to let it in, that's hopefully what you do. But if you're one of those who chooses to walk outside of the light of the church, hopefully He will lead you into the light of the church.
Yeah, I feel like just stepping out boldly and, like he said, building that kingdom. I feel like you're not going to do that in your comfort zone. You're going to have to step out and trust the Lord. But when you do, I feel like you're going to see awesome things happening for him. So
I love what he said, because at the end of the day, you have to step out of your comfort zone and get into the growth zone.
Exactly.
And with that said, we got to get into this song here. It's we just put it in. It's called it's by Ren Collective, and the name of the song is
Build Your Kingdom Here.
And listen, guys, I hope you guys enjoy it. You're listening to the Contemporary Christian Music Classroom right here on Christ Center.
Community focus.
Listen to support it.
We have gospel.